Welcome to Business Profile on Lifestyles. I'm your host, Janine Buckner, and today we have a special guest with us, Brandon Millett, who's here to talk about his new cookbook, Wizards in the Kitchen. Brandon, thank you so much for coming.
Thanks so much for having me. It's a
I am so excited to hear about this. This is a really fascinating cookbook and very different from anything I've heard, so tell us a little bit about it.
Sure, absolutely. Well, I think the best way to think of it is it's one part Harry Potter and one part Julia Child. So it's kind of a hybrid between the two. So you've got, in this book, you've got magical recipes, easy to follow, delicious, but you also have these stories about how the recipes have actually changed history throughout time. And it's held together by a myth about a young wizard named Tabitha Pendragon who collected these recipes. And so that's sort of the story behind the book.
So where did the recipes come from?
Well,
from you or
as
Tabitha,
the story goes, 300 years ago, when just following the Salem witch trials, the masters of the forbidden arts were on the brink of extinction, and they were concerned, and so they decided to collect all these recipes from around the world so that they could control mankind. And the plan was working until a young light wizard named Tabitha Pendragon crept in, stole the recipe book, and for the last 300 years she's held it tight. But now as we head into 2012 and the final battle for the soul of the world, she's releasing them to the public, and so that everybody can have access to the same magic. So that's sort of the story and the myth behind the book.
That's wonderful. Tell us a little bit about the recipes. What type of food? Give us some examples of what's in there. What can we expect?
It's broken out into 13 spell categories. Each chapter is a different spell. So it's, for example, you can induce courage or wealth or health or success. And in each chapter, you have recipes for 2 appetizers, a soup, a salad, 2 entrees, and 2 desserts. So each of those chapters will have all of those items in. And I'll just give you a couple of examples. We have an apricot lavender tart, for example, to induce romance. We have a spring chicken, so you can regain your youth and your vigor.
Oh, that's awesome.
You know, so there's everything has a magical component to it, all the recipes in the book.
Is this idea from you? I mean, I realize there's a myth going on here, but this is fascinating to me, though. Did you come up with this? I know you're the author of this. I mean, this is just unbelievable.
Well, thank you.
So how did you come about this idea?
Well, many, many years ago, I served as a tour guide in Salem, Massachusetts, and otherwise known as Witch City. And so I've always been fascinated with the story of the Salem witch trials, and I love everything that's magical or fantastical. I get into that stuff. And I'm also passionate about food.
I was going to say, you must have a passion for cooking too.
I do.
Right.
I do. Well, eating. But at any rate, so I didn't see anything on the market that sort of combined these two things, magic and cooking, in a fun and whimsical and family-friendly way.
Well, that's just it. You can really pull the whole family into this. I know my children would really take an interest in something like this, where a normal cookbook they might not. But this is really unique and just truly fascinating. We're running out of time, but please tell everyone where they can find this cookbook.
I should be happy to. It's, they can go to wizardscookbook.com, so they can pre-order the book. We're doing our official launch on October 28th at L2 Lounge right here in Washington, D.C. And so people can RSVP on our website. We're going to have a big Halloween bash. We're going to have psychics doing readings, costumes, and all that. Perfect time to release it, absolutely. So, and they can just go to wizardscookbook.com and get more information.
Well, best of luck to you. I know this is going to be a huge success, and thank you so much for spending time with us to tell us about it.
Appreciate it.
Thanks.